itasimama, Kenya itanawiri kwa umoja na uzalendo. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo. Je, wewe? Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Today we are here to brief you. These are the mini briefings that we shall be having in the course of the week. Our main press briefing shall be on Monday, and increasingly it shall be themed. But because of the way in which news has changed over time, with a 24-hour cycle, we shall also be having mini briefings, at least once or twice a week, so that then we can be able to be up to speed with the issues that are at hand. And so therefore, today we would want to address various issues and concerns. And as it was really put very clearly, the BBC documentary that was aired, is really, one-sided because they didn't have a view of the government. Obviously and sincerely, we really send our most sincere condolences to the families of those affected. And we have IPOA on the cases. They have already issued a statement of the 60 deaths that were recorded. About 22 cases have been finalized. And there is more information to this that we shall be releasing as well, so that then these issues are being taken care of. And that is very important. However, it is true to say that also those who did the documentary should have sought government opinion on the same, so that they can be fair and balanced, and so that we can have a proper story that also shows the two sides of the situation. For example, they show a parliament being burnt, but they don't show who is doing it. They seem to minimize the various the vandalization that happened in parliament, and going forward, because we cannot have a country that also is led through anarchy and mayhem. Yes, there were legitimate concerns. They never even gave a proper account of the issues within the finance bill, because we do not want a situation where we have people inciting Kenyans to violence. And also, if you look at even the whole documentary, they never spoke about the issue, even giving the president's speech ample time to be heard. They were very keen to show the other side of the story. And there are always at least two sides of a story. And there is also the government position on this issue. And once again, I would want to say as a government spokesperson, on behalf of the government, that we send our sincere condolences to those that are departed. Every life is important, and IPOA is getting to the bottom of it. And it is important that we have a dialogue and conversation, but then where you hear both sides of the story, not just one side, as if you have a premeditated narrative. We've already reached out to BBC. It's good to say that very clearly on these issues, and we have already expressed our sentiments to them, and we will be communicating going forward as far as this matter is concerned. Now, going to other issues, I think it is important to understand that a lot of things have happened that are positive in government. For example, there is a concern by Kenyans about capitation because of the new term. We have divided capitation into three segments. We have about 50% being disbursed in the first term, about 48 billion, and then 30% being disbursed in the second term, about 29 billion, and the rest being disbursed in the third term, almost amounting to about 100 billion shillings. So the National Treasury and the Ministry of Education are in the process of doing exactly that, to ensure that we release the capitation in due course. So teachers and those who run schools, please be advised. We shall be making that announcement through the Ministry of Education and National Treasury in due course, and so as soon as possible. But then we urge our institutions to actually also follow the guidelines that have been issued in terms of school fees, so that they do not overcharge the parents. Yeah, so I think that's my preliminary remarks. I don't know whether there are any questions. A journalist in the house.
Yes, my name is Rehab Ademo. I have 3 questions for you. And can you please tell us the measures that you put in place to control gambling is becoming a menace in the country? And please clarify the status of pending bills that is owed to the Ministry of Health. And now that you share now covers up to families consisting of 4 wives, will these families be paying the same amount, or will the same amount increase with the number of wives?
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, I think I need to make it very clear that the government does not condone reckless gambling, as has been witnessed, that has led to people losing their property and even in some extreme cases, loss of life. Most of these are unregulated online and unlicensed betting companies. And we are taking action as a government because we must protect Kenyans. Already a multi-agency task force has been constituted by the head of public service, Mr. Felix Koskei, that comprises of the AG's office, the Ministry of Interior and National Administration, the Betting Control and Licensing Board, which is under the President, the Board, Education Authority of Kenya, and each one of them has been given a task to do within 30 days in order to ensure that we bring everything to account and we have lasting solutions. And this idea of media stations, for example, promoting gambling as a quick way of getting rich is something that we would want to discourage as a government. So we really will wait for that report. And then, as a Kenyan, please do not get into this habit of gambling and expecting that you'll resolve all your problems. It's not right. And we will be looking at, we'll be vetting them, whether people are complying to the guidelines. Also, we are urging Parliament, the government is urging Parliament to fast track the control bill so as to ensure that we have brought everything into the ambit of the law. So that is a position on gambling. And of course, we'll be giving an update as the multi-agency team continues to work on this matter. Now, on the issue of Taifa Care, popularly known as SHA, several issues emerge. First and foremost, it is important to state that we are very happy to see that the numbers have risen to 21.6 million. This is very, very commendable. The registration is very high, and we encourage Kenyans to continue registering. The Ministry of Health, led by CS Edwin Dwale, is working round the clock to ensure that that is seamless, and the SHA authority. The other thing that also we need to emphasize is it's true. You can register up to 4 wives. This is to also accommodate members of the Muslim faith, but also others who may be polygamous, because that's the reality of our country. And as many children as are dependent on that union, or the unions thereof. So the charges remain as low as 300 shillings, and it goes to the person. They're using the means testing instrument. So it's not like you get more charges for the same. It is within what is already provided for, because there's individual, and corporate, payments. But as many Kenyans are encouraged to pay, because the more we pay, the more we have, Kenyans insured, because it's like an insurance like any other. So please pay. Do not just wait to pay when you are sick. And we are trying to work on modalities to ensure that we pay through M-Pesa daily basis, so that then those who don't get a monthly salary, they can actually be in good books and can be able to do it very quickly. At the same time, we also want to disabuse the notion that has been peddled in the media that the SHA is unable to actually insure teachers. The 410,000 teachers, that are already under the TSC, 410,750,000, will be covered like any other Kenyan. So it is possible, and there is already a scheme for public servants that also the police qualify, and any other, civil servant. So this idea that it is not possible is also not true. So please, SHA is for everyone, including our teachers, and that message should go out there. Further to your question on pending bills, yes, we had issued a 90 days committee period that is still is now 60 days. Let's wait for the report of that committee to verify the 33 billion shillings claims under NHIF. Some of them are fraudulent and fictitious, and they're also part of what is being investigated by the Ouko-led committee. And we are happy to say that because of this work that the Edward Ouko committee has done on pending bills, we have been able to deal with 57% of them as fraudulent, therefore saving money from the Kenyan taxpayer. It's a very wonderful exercise because we have been able to save billions of shillings. And so therefore it's very, very important. But the government is very keen on ensuring that we pay Kenyans, especially on the verified amounts. On the verified amounts, that's a decision that the cabinet will pronounce itself on, so that then we are able to retire these debts. The others are still being investigated because we had a total of about 665 billion worth of claims since 2005 to June 2022. And we hope that we'll be able to clear with this backlog so that we can move forward as a country. But as I said, 57% of these were actually fraudulent, and we thank God that this committee has done its serious audit and helped save Kenyans from being defrauded by tricksters, fraudsters, and conmen. Next question.
My name is Brenda, and my question is on the coffee reforms. You've talked about waiving 6.8 billion debts and making a big payment to manage finances. And you know there was a promise to the coffee farmers that they would get good rates. So what is the status of this?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think it's we are now experiencing what you can call a coffee boom, the return of coffee millionaires because of the coffee reforms that have been instituted as a government. When we say that we needed pesa mfukoni to Kenyans, we were real, we were true. So what have we done? First and foremost, it should be noted that farmers are being paid between 120 to 148 shillings per kilo. This is the highest in 35 years. Yeah, that's a long time ago. We are talking about, where some people are not even born. I even saw a lady saying that she's now going to go back to tend to her coffee bushes. Yeah, so it's really a game changer. There have been celebrations all over, especially in places where we grow coffee, like in Embu County. Quite a number of people have benefited because of this. And so we are actually living up to the expectations that we want to put pesa mfukoni in the pockets of Kenyans, and this is one example. We are verifying the 6.4 billion coffee cherry fund debts that have been accrued, so that we also remove anyone who is claiming falsely that they are owed by farmers, and that is something that we will take very seriously, so that we ensure that we defraud. We defraud. I beg your pardon. We remove the fraudsters from defrauding our country, and so that is something that we are going to do very seriously. Next question.
Okay, my name is Lydia Rufasi. I have two questions for you today. The government has announced that there is a fresh rating for the National Police Reservists, which it has called NPR rating. What is this meant to achieve, given that we have seen a lot of activities, gang activities in Kerio Valley?
Yes, and your second question?
My second question is on the numbers that the State Department of Lands and Housing has given regarding the numbers that we have been able to make up to 13 billion. Are these numbers real? Is digitization working for government? Do we expect better service delivery from this?
Let me start with your last question, because we are a government that promised that we will fulfill, our promises, and also we are a digital government. Remember, one of the 5 pillars we have is digital superhighway and the creative economy. So we are digitizing our government services through the e-citizen, and through RDP, we've been able to collect over 13 billion Kenya shillings because we have been able to remove corruption, and the turnaround time now is commendable. And there is now what you call impersonal interaction. We don't need human agency for you to get this. This has really helped. And you can see the collections, which is helping us in what we call non-tax revenue, so that we can be more reliable. So it is real. Please use that one, and you'll benefit because this digitization of government services is helping us so that you can even follow your transactions. It is increasing transparency and ensuring that you can do a lot of this from the comfort of your home using a smartphone or a computer or a laptop. So yes, it is true. Going forward, we are changing one issue at a time. Land, tick. Coffee, tick. We talk about macadamia, tick. Milk, tick. Unga, already tick. So we are getting there as a government. Second issue, what is your real concern exactly? You want to know why we are vetting the NPR? Yes. I think, Kerubo, there are some police reservists who have been accused of colluding or collaborating with bandits. And so it's becoming difficult because then they are the ones who may be used to sabotage any efforts to defeat these people. So we are vetting them so that then we ensure that we have people who are credible and that the system is foolproof from such infiltration. This will, of course, ensure that we have better security, as the Minister for Interior has said, Murkomen Kipchumba, so that our country is strong and able to stand on its own. Thank you. Another question?
My name is Alan Ginger, and my question is about the prior learning program.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a year since the program was put in place. We marked a year last month, that is March. Now, what is the current status of the program? In that, do we have an approximate number of Kenyans who have benefited from the program? And the program was domiciled under the Technical Vocational Education and Training Institute, that is TVETs. Are there specific TVETs offering the program, or are they offered across the country? And lastly, is it true that the initiative was introduced to boost TVET student numbers, since there has been a belief previously that TVETs only offer programs for students who fail to make it to university?
Let me start with that, Mr. Ginger. I don't know if you are ginger, whether I am lemon. But Ellen, very good question. You always ask very good question. The recognition of prior learning is a multi-agency endeavor under the State Department for Technical Vocational Education and Training, popularly known as TVET, so that those people who have been in the Jua Kali sector, in the construction sector, they already have the skills. They don't need to be taught. Then we recognize that prior learning and we certify them. By last year, our numbers were 213. But I'm also happy to say that our numbers have since gone up. And we are targeting that by June of this year, we shall be able to have trained 1,000, we shall have been able to recognize 1,300. So the numbers are increasing so that we align with the Better Plans, Inclusive Growth and Economic Empowerment target, so that we don't just say that people don't learn on their own. And this will help us in terms of ensuring that we have people who are good at what they do. You know, when you go to, for example, people in Gikomba or in a construction site, you'll find people who are good at what they do than even an engineer or a fashion and design graduate, because it's practical, you know. So what we are trying to do, Mr. Ginger, is to ensure that we recognize that, because it is what we require, so that we are able to see we move from theory to practice. And yes, we need to boost the TVET numbers. That is why this administration, even when His Excellency President William Ruto was the deputy, we are targeting to have at least one TVET in every constituency, because that's the only way you can lift the economy, rather than having too many courses at the universities and degrees. Because what happened, we upgraded so many of these institutions and polytechnics to universities, and then we left a huge gap. Yet not everybody makes it to the university. Some of the best trained people are artisans, certificate holders, all the way to diploma, and they are able to be the economy. Because we are a growing economy, we need more and more hands on deck. Thank you. Any other question? Asante sana. Nitasema pengine kwa kujumuisha kwamba leo tungependa kuwa na kikao na wanahabari na kuzungumzia Wakenya, kwa sababu hatutakuwa tukizungumza tu siku moja kwa wiki, kwa sababu tuona kwamba mambo ya habari na matukio mbalimbali yanajitokeza kutokana na masaa 24. Pindi ya masaa 24 kuna jambo jipya ambalo linajitokeza. Kwa hivyo lazima tutetee serikali na kutoa msimamo wa serikali. Kwa mfano, kuna hii video ya BBC imeweza kuenezwa, lakini shida ni kwamba hawakuchukua mtizamo wa serikali. Ukiangalia katika ile video, hata Mheshimiwa Rais hakupewa nafasi ya kuzungumza vizuri. Kwa hivyo inaegemea upande mmoja, na inaonekana pengine kuna nadharia fulani ambayo ilikuwa inajaribu kusisitiziwa na chombo kile cha habari. Lakini ni vizuri wajue kwamba tunakosoa, tunatoa rambirambi kwa ndugu jamaa na marafiki ambao waliweza kutuwaka kama Wakenya wenzetu, na hilo sio jambo ambalo tunaweza kulisifia, na kwa hivyo tunatoa rambirambi zetu. Na ile hatua tunachukua kama serikali, shirika la IPOA limeweza kuchunguza visa 90 kwa watu ambao walisemekana walikufa kutokana na yale maandamano ya Gen Z. Lakini kuna kesi 22 zimeweza kukamilishwa, na wanaendelea kufanya uchunguzi na upelelezi kwa wale ambao pengine wameshukiwa, na kuna ratiba nzuri ambao wameweza kupatiana na orodha ya visa vile. Kwa hivyo hilo ni jambo ambalo tungependa kulisisitizia zaidi, na tuseme kwamba ni vizuri kuwa na wakati unaleta mambo pengine kama ni hizo documentary na kadhalika, uangazie pande zote mbili. Na tumewasiliana tayari na BBC na tukaweza kusema kwamba hilo jambo, kwa sababu ni vizuri wajue kwamba hata sisi wenyewe tunajua. Na wamesema kwamba walikuwa wametumia watu wengine waseme kuhusu serikali, lakini nikiwaambia watuambie ni akina nani wao, ambao kwa sababu hawakuhusisha hata ofisi yangu hata kidogo. Na ni vizuri tuzungumzie mambo vile yalivyo. Jambo lingine ambalo ningependa kutaja pengine kwa kuorodhesha ni kwamba kuna mambo haya ya SHA, hususan vile watu wanasema kwamba TSC tuweze kaweza kutoa hii bima kwa walimu wetu. No, inawezekana la hasha, kwa sababu tuna walimu 410,750 na wote wanaweza kufaidi kutokana na mradi huu, kama vile ilivyo tu wafanyikazi wengine wa umma na polisi na kadhalika. Kwa hiyo hilo jambo naweza kusema, na pia wale ambao bado wanalia kuhusu pesa zao, wangojee ni siku 60, lazima tumalize 90 kwa sababu ya ile kamati, kwa sababu tulisema kwamba tusiweze kuwa na watu ambao watatapeli nchi na Wakenya kwa sababu wana madai ambayo ni ya uongo, madai ya fedha ambayo ni wanajaribu kuiba pesa kupitia makaratasi. Pia ni vizuri kusema kwamba ile kamati ya huko imeweza kutuhakikishia kwamba inafanya kazi vizuri, na tayari ya zile pending bills asilimia 57 kumradhi si za kikweli. Kwa hivyo tunaweza kuhakikisha haziibiwi kutoka, jambo ambalo tunafaa kulisifia zaidi. Pia ni vizuri kusema kwamba vile tunaendelea kufanya mambo ya digitization, mambo ya ardhi, tumeweza kuzoa zaidi ya shilingi bilioni 13 kutoka Wizara ya Ardhi kupitia ule mtambo wa e-Citizen, ArdhiPay, na si lazima umhonge mtu ama umjue mtu, na muda unakuwa ni wa rahisi kwa sababu unaweza kutumia tarakilishi ama simu yako ya rununu kuweza kufanya shughuli zile za kiserikali. Na pia tuseme kwamba vile ambavyo tulivyowaahidi wa Kenya, sasa kuna pesa mfukoni, sasa kuna coffee millionaires, mamilionea wa kahawa ambao kwa sababu tunaweza kulipa pesa 148 kwa kilo moja ya kahawa, na hili jambo liliwahi kutendeka mwisho miaka 35 iliyopita. Kwa hivyo tunabadilisha taswira ya nchi, na kwa hivyo tunawarai wa Kenya waendelee kuwa na imani na serikali ili tuweze kuhakikisha kwamba tumeweka pesa mfukoni, vile ambavyo tumefanya katika sekta ya maziwa, sekta ya sukari, hata katika unga, mambo mengi ambayo tumeweza kubadilisha pindi ambavyo tunavyokwenda kila moja baada ya lile nyingine. Jambo lingine pia tungependa kusema ni kwamba katika mpango wote wa SHA sasa hivi unaweza hata kuwasajili zaidi ya wake wanne ili kuweza kusheheni ndugu zetu Waislamu na pia wengine ambao pengine wana bibi zaidi ya mmoja. Na fedha ni zile zile, hakutakuwa na ongezeko, ni chini ya shilingi 300, lakini tuna mpango ambao tunaufanyia ukarabati kidogo hivi tuweze kutangaza rasmi ili watu waweze kuwa wakilipa kupitia M-Pesa na kila baada ya siku, kwa sababu sio kila Mkenya ambaye ana pesa analipwa kila mwisho wa mwezi. Jambo lingine tungependa kusema kwamba wale ambao wote wanalipwa malipo ya uzeeni, pension ukipenda, sasa hivi hakuna kodi ambayo inatozwa aidha kwa ile lump sum ama kwa zile pesa za kila mwisho wa mwezi. Na hilo ni jambo zuri zaidi kwa sababu tulikuwa tunatoa kodi pale, lakini sasa tumeweza kuondolea jambo lile na bunge litakuwa likiangalia hivi. Kuna watu ambao wanacheza kamari ama ukipenda gambling, na hili jambo limekuwa likisumbua sana wa Kenya na limekuwa ni doda sugu kwa sababu wengine wanajua, wengine wanapoteza mali yao. Sasa hivi kuna jopo kazi ambalo limeweza kuundwa chini ya mkuu wa utumishi wa umma Bwana Felix Kosgei, ambalo linajumuisha ile kampuni ya betting BCLB, kuna afisi ya mwanasheria mkuu, kuna wizara ya masuala ya ndani ukipenda interior, kuna communication authority na wengineo ambao wamepatiwa siku 30 kuja na mikakati ya kuhakikisha kwamba tumeweza kuzamisha mambo yale. Na hivi sasa zile asasi ambazo zinatumika kuonyesha Wakenya ni kana kwamba kufanya kamari, kucheza kamari na kujaribu kufanya hii mambo ya gambling kwamba ni kama unaweza kujitajirisha. Sasa hivi tunaangalia vyombo vya habari, tuangalie kama leseni zao wanafaa kufanya mambo kama hayo, kwa sababu hivyo ni kuwahadaa wa Kenya. Kwa hivyo hilo jambo tunalishughulikia zaidi na tutachukua hatua vile ambavyo inavyofaa kama serikali. Jambo lingine ambalo pia tungependa kusema kwamba kuna watu ambao wamepatiwa kama ni wale reserve police, askari ambao ni wa kando ambao wanatumika na magaidi au wale mabandits. Tunafanya ile vetting mpya sasa hivi ndiposa tuwaondoe wale ili tuweze kuimarisha usalama hususan katika bonde la Ufa, upande wa Kerio na kadhalika na kule Baringo na kadhalika, kwa sababu tunahitaji kuwa na usalama ili tuweze kuwa na wekezaji ambao ni wa kudumu. Sijui kama kuna swali lingine ambalo ningependa kuliangazia kwa Kiswahili. Pia Rehab, naweza kuniuliza kuna Rehab nani mwingine? Fikiri ni wewe peke yako. Haya. Haraka kwa sababu ya muda. Nafikiri hilo nimeweza kulijibu. No, 4 mwisho kwa sababu ya dini. Kwa siku hizi hakuna watu wana bibi zaidi ya 4, sio wengi sana. Na kama kuna haya jitokeze, lakini 4 tumekubali. Na tuseme mipango ya kando. Tunasema bibi ambaye ni rasmi, ambaye umeweza kumchumbia, ukaweza kumlipia mahari na ana watoto wako. Ayo, asanteni sana. Mungu awabariki. Kenya itainuka, Kenya itasimama, Kenya itanawiri kwa umoja na uzalendo. Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo.